Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside this week's edition of the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. Tom Brady once again, the pleasure of being joined by the head coach of the Hofstra Women's Soccer Team, Riddiough. Coach, thanks for joining us as always.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Now Coach, this past weekend, start of conference play, started off Friday night, a heartbreaking 4-3 loss to James Madison in overtime. Now you've had a couple of days to, digest that. What sticks out for you from that loss now?
Again, you always try and accentuate the positives, and for 75 minutes I thought we performed very well. I thought we executed the game plan. I thought the players gave everything. Even for the full game they gave everything. Unfortunately we had some mental lapses, and James Madison capitalised on those. And so the positives are, we played well, we performed well, we didn't get the result we wanted, but we can move forward and onward if we continue to execute like we did.
Now, how were you able to dominate that game at stretches? You went up, you took a 3-1 lead in that game, and really it looked like you had all the possession and really most of the offense as well.
Yeah, it's tough. It's soccer, and you've got to give credit to James Madison. The coaching staff did a great job organising them, and as with most good Division 1 teams, they have an ability to keep in games. They have an ability to step up and be counted when it matters, and that's what James Madison did. The last 10 minutes they stepped up, they adjusted the system, they changed it a little bit and moved more numbers forward, and we did not deal with it very well. So you've got to give credit to the coaching staff. I thought they did a good job coaching wise, and the players, they showed a lot of fortitude and effort and energy. So as disappointed as we were with the loss, and as disappointed as we were to let one slip away, we feel you have to give credit to your opposition as well in those situations.
Now, you mentioned it to me after the game. JMU really was subbing a lot. They had a lot of players coming off the bench. How much do you think that kept them fresh and helped them make a late comeback in that game?
Yeah, I think they subbed 8 different players periodically. And when the last 10 minutes are coming up and they put the 3 better players on who are fresh, then it starts to wear us down. We don't make that many subs, and for most of the situations we can cope with that and deal with it quite well. I thought on Friday, with the weather and the energy of the first game, maybe we overextended ourselves early on in the game. Maybe we were too excitable and we used up way too much energy. I don't know the answer, but I do believe that James Madison's depth did help them move forward a little bit.
Now, Laura Green continued her good run of form, a pair of goals in that game, and Britt Ferriella getting the first goal of her Hofstra Pride career also. I believe 2 out of the 3 were off of set pieces. So what did you think about your offense in that game?
Well, again, I think on set piece situations we're dangerous. We've got some good size, some good heading ability, and we've got a couple of players who can strike a good ball and put the ball where we want it. And once you get that consistency distribution-wise, it's all about timing of runs and desire to get on the ball. So from that perspective, I was very happy. Obviously, Laura Green's been special all year. We don't need to accentuate how good she is. We know she's good. And for Britt Ferriella to get on the goal sheet is fantastic. She's had a tough 2 years at Hofstra. She's probably underachieved in my eyes as well as hers. It's for her to step in now as a junior or a redshirt sophomore and play and perform as well as she has. Maybe it proves that maybe I made a mistake last year and didn't play her enough last year, but she's been fantastic, and it's great always to see a kid get on the scoreboard.
Now, as is customary in CAA play, had a game then on Sunday afternoon. How tough is it to get your team ready for that game, especially maybe after a tough loss?
It's never easy. Even when you win on Friday, it's never easy. You win on Friday, you just want to keep the confidence going and not get complacent. You're wary of that situation. When you lose, it's an emotional letdown, particularly the way we lost on Friday. The good thing is the girls and the coaching staff, we all thought that we performed well and played well. And so from our perspective, it was just a matter of recovering quickly, getting ourselves physically prepared as well as we could, and also continue the same path as what we did prior to James Madison and perform and prepare the same way mentally, physically and emotionally. And as I always say, with this group of players, they're
up Sunday. Team really came out and dominated the first half. Wound up getting a goal from Keelan Dudley, a nice strike on the volley. How good did it feel just to get on the board early and take the early lead in that one?
Yeah, again, we played well the first half, and we started pushing VCU further back. And Keelan's goal was a fantastic one. The technique and timing is a lot. From the sidelines, it looks like an easy goal, but when you're in the field and you're trying to time a crossfield ball, wait for it to drop perfectly and strike it through with your laces, it's a lot more difficult. And I can testify to that. I've never scored a volley in my life. So for her to do that in that pressure situation was fantastic, and it's always good to get a freshman to score a goal. So yeah, very important to get the goal there, especially with our fragile mentality coming out of the Friday game.
You mentioned mentality. Your starting goalkeeper in that game, Kylie Schuster, found out she had to start pretty much right before the game. How do you think she responded and played to get the shutout in that one?
I cannot say enough about Kylie. She's been practicing tremendously well. She's been playing well in practice. She had a really bad game against Harvard. She knows that. We know that. And she probably thought she threw a chance away. Under certain situations, we had to play on Sunday. And for her to have the mental strength and propensity to step up like she did is fantastic. And she put a brilliant performance in. And she was confident, and she came for crosses, and she communicated well. I cannot say enough about that desire and effort that she put forth, and she had a very good game against VCU.
How does that give you confidence going forward? Last year you had two goalkeepers, you really split time between them, but at least two goalkeepers that you were confident in. Now are you starting to feel the same way again? Two goalkeepers you can be confident in?
Yeah, pretty much. Again, outside of the Harvard game, Kylie's been very, very good, and she's exuded confidence. She got a knock, and how she reacted on Sunday was fantastic. So, as a coach, it's always good to have one extra player in your depth chart for each position. So to have Kylie and Emily fighting it out now for that starting spot is fantastic for us to see.
Now this week, move forward, kind of an interesting Thursday afternoon game for you. You take on a Drexel team who's had quite a good start so far to their CAA season. What have you seen from them in their maybe surprisingly hot start?
Yeah, Drexel's always a well-organised, well-coached, hard, blue-collar type working team. And over the last 5-6 years, Coach Goon has constantly added one or two freshmen who can make an impact. And now he's seen the fruition of that. They've got 5 or 6 players who are impact players. Surrounded by a very hard-working blue-collar mentality makes them a very difficult team. We've been fortunate over the years that we've done well against Drexel in results-wise, but during that time we've struggled to beat them. We've had a couple of overtime goals, game-winning goals, and so forth. So I expect nothing less from Drexel. They're going to come in, they're going to be organised, they're going to make it difficult. They're very confident, which is always a scary proposition from an opposition team, is having a team who has their mentality and sprinkled with confidence as well. It's not going to be easy, but we are at home, and we have got a couple of days to prepare and get physically ready. And as I said, if we do the right things, good things will happen. And maybe not Thursday, maybe not Sunday, but eventually it'll turn around and we'll get results when we need them.
Now, I know you don't like to look too far ahead, but Sunday then you have to head down to Delaware for a matchup against the Blue Hens, and just maybe they're picked towards the bottom of the CAA, but I think as the season's already starting to prove, there's so much parity in the CAA, and it's going to be one that you're going to have to be ready for as well.
Yeah, I think I spoke to Delaware this morning actually, in order to try and organise practice schedule. We both think there's a lot of parity. We both think that from top to bottom anybody can beat anybody. I think there's going to be a lot of overtime games, a lot of one-goal games. Delaware are tremendously talented. They've got a squad of really talented players, and when they play, they can play. Whether they do it on a consistent basis is the question mark, and hopefully hopefully by Sunday they'll be tired after Thursday night's game and won't be feeling up for a game against us on Sunday. But it's always a good rivalry. They are our old foes. Hofstra Delaware games have always been a thorn in everybody's side. So I expect nothing other than the rivalry it has been.
Coach, any keys you think to having a good, successful, maybe 2-0 week coming up?
Just compete. If we compete physically, hopefully one of our special players will be enough to make a difference. If that happens, then we'll be very happy come next report.
All right, head coach of the Hofstra Women's Soccer Team, Simon Riddiough. Thanks for joining us inside the W. Mason Coaches Report on GoHofstra.com.
Thanks, Tom.